A renowned scientist steps off a plane and into a waiting car. The driver, holding his name placard, introduces himself as Mr. Buckley. As they pull onto the highway, the rain thwacking against the windshield wipers, Buckley turns around. He's thrilled to finally meet a real scientist, but he doesn't ask about biology or physics. Instead, Buckley's questions pour out with buoyant enthusiasm. What's the truth about the sunken continent of Atlantis? How do we channel the spirits of the dead? What about the prophecies of Nostradamus or the healing power of crystals? With each eager question, the scientist has to disappoint him. He has to explain over and over that the evidence for these claims is crummy and that there is almost always a much simpler explanation. Buckley was widely read in New Age myths, yet he knew virtually nothing of modern science. He had never heard of the molecular building blocks of life sitting in the cold gas between the stars, or how the Himalayas rose when India crashed into Asia. He recognized DNA only as 3 frequently linked capital letters. Buckley was well-spoken, intelligent, and curious. His ignorance was the result of a systemic filter. Our cultural motifs and educational systems permitted only pretense and confusion to reach him, failing to teach him how to distinguish real science from a cheap imitation. Buckley represents a tragic paradox. He possessed a profound natural human appetite for the wonders of the universe, but he was systematically misled and bamboozled by the most accessible sources of information. Pseudoscience outcompetes real science in the marketplace of ideas because it is designed to be frictionless. It is the ultimate wish fulfillment product. It requires no rigorous evidence, caters to fantasies of personal powers we lack, and offers a comforting promise that we are the reason the universe exists. Real science is a greater intellectual challenge that frequently undermines our naive self-confidence. It forces us to grasp the universe as it really is, which often means accepting our own insignificance in the scheme of existence. Beyond the intellectual difficulty, people are nervous about science because it serves up genuine technological perils. The same institutions that unlock the secrets of life also produced Agent Orange, nerve gas, and industries powerful enough to ruin the planet's climate. Trust is further eroded by a history of ethical violations. In Tuskegee, Alabama, physicians misled veterans into believing they were receiving medical treatment for syphilis when they were actually the untreated controls in a study of the disease's progression. These failures make science easy to avoid. But abandoning it creates a vacuum. When we stop requiring adequate evidence for knowledge, pseudoscience and modern superstition promptly fill the void. Surveys suggest 95% of Americans are scientifically illiterate, the same fraction kept illiterate before the Civil War. We are living through a perilous transition, resting on a tiny foundation of knowledge. Our jobs and lives depend on a technology the vast majority does not understand. Every citizen is expected to influence national policy on issues with deep scientific roots: global warming and ozone depletion, toxic waste, and the impacts of genetic engineering. How can we make intelligent decisions in our own lives or instruct our representatives if we don't grasp the underlying issues? Combining this immense technological power with such profound public ignorance is foolhardy. If a nation cannot manufacture high-quality products or grasp the consequences of its own innovations, its prosperity will continue to drift away. This crisis is exacerbated by how we teach science. Our educational system often presents the findings of science as a collection of static facts, while ignoring the history of how those facts were won. This graphic compares a scientific finding to a pseudoscientific assertion. Without the context of the work required to achieve them, both appear as unsupported claims. To the average person, there is no visible reason to prefer one over the other. The true value of science is its method, a rigorous tool for error correction. It functions by framing hypotheses so they are capable of being disproved and confronting them with a succession of experiments and observations. This method is often stodgy and grumpy. It relies on a courageous self-assessment and a constant acknowledgement that our perceptions are fallible and we are prone to systematic errors in reasoning. Without internalizing this method, the public has no defense mechanism. They are left vulnerable to charlatans who dodge skeptical scrutiny and press our awe buttons with easy, comforting answers. To survive the challenges of the next century, we must embrace this skeptical rigor. While it may kill our comforting delusions, it is the most precious thing we have for our long-term survival.